Hey Phantomaniacs, welcome to the newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are taking a look at Wilykit, one of the Thunder Kittens from ThunderCats, one of the essential core team of ThunderCats that I have never owned in any way, shape, or form. I'm excited to have this cartoon-based version from Super 7. Wilykit is one of the mischievous Thunder Kittens who escaped the destruction of Thundera with the other ThunderCats. Together with her twin brother Wilykit, she loves racing across Third Earth on her hoverboard and beguiling the evil mutants with her homemade explosive capsules and smoke grenades. Often more brash than her cautious older brother, Wilykit is nevertheless a loyal and brave member of the ThunderCats. So kind of like I said with Snarf, when I was a kid, I was sort of annoyed by the Thunder Kittens, but watching the show with older eyes, while they are often the source of the problems that the Thundercats get into, they don't quite fit into the annoying sidekick trope as well as I would have thought. They are they do have, well, they are brave and loyal. They do have a greater degree of, I don't know. I guess one of the problems with those annoying sidekick characters is they often seem just so incompetent. But the Thunder Kittens are just kids. And it's, I don't know. They again, as I get older and I start to look on pretty much everything with sort of a kinder, more understanding outlook, I realize, like, oh, they're kids acting like kids, and also it's just a cartoon. Calm down. So I did not think I was going to be able to get one of these. I have really, really backed off of my Super 7 Ultimates pre-orders, or at least I had at one point, because of all of the deep clearance that was happening over the last couple of years, because the pandemic, blew up collecting. Blew up Super 7's production numbers, and things just, they were making way too much. And then we came out of the pandemic, and I guess a lot of people that got collecting during that time stopped. So it just, a lot of companies ended up, I mean, we're still seeing it with Hasbro a little bit. A lot of companies ended up in a bad position where they had just produced way too much of certain things. And now they're correcting, and things are becoming a little more difficult to find again. And Super 7 is one of those companies that has definitely changed things, because this figure was sold out everywhere. There we go. For a while, like pre-sold out. Once it started hitting, oh man, it doesn't feel frail. It's got a good feel to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to miss this? Because what I had been doing, there were just so many pre-orders, so much stuff coming out. And I canceled a bunch of pre-orders that I had and just got really conservative about what I was pre-ordering. And the ThunderCats Ultimates were one of those things where I was like, well, I'll get them when I get them. There's other stuff coming out. I can't deal with these $55, these waves of 4 $55 action figures hitting me when I'm not entirely sure when it's going to be. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'll take a closer look at that shoulder in a second and show you what I'm talking about. So anyway, they were just a lot of the Super 7 Ultimates. Thundercats and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just kind of got moved down the priority list a little bit. G.I. Joe Ultimates are still pre-ordered, have to have them as soon as I can get them. But Ninja Turtles and Thundercats were once they come in, I'll look at my budget and figure out what I can buy and when, which is why I've been reviewing some of these things a little later than when Super 7 initially ships them. Gosh, okay, so I really want to emphasize how, for such a small, tiny figure, that it does feel solid. It doesn't have that sort of hollow, cheap feel that smaller figures in a line of larger figures sometimes have, if you know what I'm talking about. I love the brightness of the hair. That bright shock of orange hair is great. Overall, she's just got a lighter pastel-y color scheme as compared to the other Thundercats, and it looks great. It's going to stand out really nicely on the shelf. I went and grabbed Lion-O just so we could do a size comparison. Let me zoom back out here. So you can see, to me, to my eyes, size-wise, these look right. I'm satisfied with this scaling. Okay. So, hair looks great. The deco in the hair looks great. Look at the way it sort of spikes out on the sides there. Just gives it a really nice look. Like it doesn't look like a painted on stripe. It looks like part of her hair. And what I was liking on the shoulder here, so you can see, she's got, this is actually sculpted. This little sleeve part is sculpt and not just paint. So that's a nice touch. But then you've got the pink on the ring, on the disc in there. But then underneath is, look at that, flesh color. So they did paint this disc, and so far moving it, it looks like the paint is going to stay on there. But that's one of the things that drives me nuts. And look, for mass market figures, I get it. What are you going to do? But, you know, if you got like a Spider-Man or a Marvel Legends figure, that would be pink. Well, that would be pink because they probably wouldn't make this part flesh color. So yeah, you just have this pink armpit going on, and they didn't do that here. The articulation's all moving nicely. Got a nice 90-degree bend on that elbow. You've got a swivel at the top of the elbow. The hand. Just a tiny, petite little wrist joint. I'm going to be nervous switching those out if I need to. The head has a really nice range. Very expressive. Let's see. Oh yeah, everything's moving around really well. You can see we do have, well, there it goes. There goes a little piece of paint right there that was on that wrist disc. But they matched the plastic up closely enough to where that's going to be fine. Let's see. The waist is on a ball joint. Again, oh, that pops right off. But that's okay because it'll pop right back on. So really nice ball joint there. Hips, standard Super 7 hips. And the skirt is not slit on the sides, which I'm fine with. But is a soft enough plastic. That torso joint's going to pop apart pretty easily, but it goes back together, and it does stay. And it's not loose or anything. It holds poses well, so I'm good with that. Knees, rotate at the top, and the ankles. Oh, the ankles may not be... I was going to... Interesting. I don't know how those are constructed. So they've got a pretty nice range forward and back, but it looks like they're not on mobile pegs like most modern figures are, because they don't have any rotation, or the paint is just... Oh, look, there it is. Okay. Just had a little stuck paint in there. Just... I recommend if you get this figure, be very, very careful loosening that up. But, gosh, and it feels... There it is. They must have gotten a pretty decent sized peg in there too, because it feels solid. I don't feel like anything is going to snap. Because, you know, you can sort of tell, even from just turning something, the thickness and sturdiness of the peg, just from the way that it moves. So they've done a really nice job with those ankles. And then you've got the Nice little sculpted toes, and then the peg holes in the front of the foot, because where else are you going to fit them? I'm very impressed. For this petite little figure, they've done a great job maintaining the articulation, the proportions, everything you want. Here. Really nicely done. So let's take a look at some accessories. Stand her off to the side. She stands up, well, for a second. Of course, she's not going to be standing anyway. I'm definitely on the shelf going to have her on her hoverboard. Let's see how long she maintains that. You've got the hoverboard, which they had to make some decisions here. Do we want pegs? How do we want this to work? She has to be able to stand on it. And they put a very, very, there she goes, shallow peg. Oh, look at this, though. The ThunderCats emblem is like it's a nice little raised up dome. Tempo looks great. And all the paint on this is really nice. I like that shine to it. The gloss feels really nice, or looks really nice, rather. You've got the jets underneath. Look at that detail just in the propulsion system. That's great. And we come with a stand that is on a ball joint, or at least the connection point is on a ball joint. So you get a little bit of motion there. The little translucent cloud looks good. Let's see how well this... Oh, it's going to peg on really snug. Good. I got one of the NECA Marty McFly's that I think I reviewed on here from Back to the Future 2 with the hoverboard, and the hoverboard does not connect to... Oh, look at that. Really nice range on this. That is a deceptively useful ball joint. It did not seem like it got a whole lot, but then once you put a larger item on it, you see it's got a pretty good range. Anyway, the NECA Marty, the way the hoverboard connects to the support piece, the flying stand, whatever you want to call it, is not good. Doesn't work very well. So she's got a relatively large foot peg hole, or foot hole, whatever, as far as the diameter of it. So I think even though that's a very, very shallow peg, that she should stay on pretty well. Pardon me if I've got her facing the wrong way. I do not do boarding of any kind. Oh, it even kind of pops into place a little bit. So with that great ankle joint, and the way that that peg is designed with the diameter, oh, that's great. Well, it was great until I turned it the wrong way. Oh, the problem wasn't even that. Okay, so wait, let's see. Her ankle flipped back and that yanked her off. So let's see with the ankle pushed back how long she stays on. Not bad, right? Pretty happy with that. So as far as just standing on the shelf, that's going to work. That's great. So yeah, you'll have to sort of get her posed correctly, like get her ankles doing what you want them to do, and then put it down, and you'll be good. Love it. I've got an alternate winking head, mischievous little kid that she is. I don't know. I like the character on that one, but I just kind of like the regular portrait a little bit more. And then you've got some alternate hands here. One holding the little explosive, which I'm fine with them not including that as a separate piece. It's so tiny, I don't need to deal with that. And then a couple of C-grips to deal with the other accessory, which is the lasso. This one pegs onto the waist, and I hope it pegs on well. I'm just generally not a fan of this kind of thing. This pegging system so often just doesn't work well, and it looks like we might have that same kind of situation here. I'll tell you what, let's do this. Oh, that did not help at all. All right. It drives me crazy. This kind of thing so rarely works the way the toy designers intended it to work. And look, I don't have a better solution really, because I don't know how you get a little tiny accessory like this to it. Yeah, that just doesn't even work. Tell me in the comments if there's a different way I need to approach this. Look, you can see I've got it pushed out, so there should be a little bit of space to just get it in there where it can slot into place, but it's just not, it's not going in there at all. I never like stuff like this. And like I said, I don't know what the better answer is. Look at that. You pull that all the way out, but it still just doesn't want to go in there. Okay, I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing here. I'm just trying to get... And of course, after you go through the... I think I'll say the HE double hockey sticks. After you go through the hell... Oh, look, I got it in there. Okay. So after you go through the hell of getting this thing placed, right? Because that was not fun. Well, now, if you want to pose her with the lasso, then it doesn't make any sense because she's got one on her belt and she's got one here. So I'm just not going to pose her with the lasso because honestly, I don't need this taking up space on my shelf anyway. And it is a sort of flexible plastic, so it isn't, you know, if you pose her like that or whatever, over time, this is just going to flop down. So it's neat. It needed to be included as an accessory. They did a good job with it. But it's not something I'm going to display on the shelf. I like the way they did the knot. Hang on. The way they did the knot right here. Looks good. It's just got some nice little sculpt, because you can see there's like a handle here too. Like, well, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it is sculpted here. So it's a nice piece. I'm just not going to use it on the shelf. So what I'm probably going to do, let's go ahead and do it, I guess. When you are swapping hands this tiny, try to grab it by the disc. Like, put your pressure on that disc part and pull that out as opposed to just yanking on the hand, because that's how you get the disc to just pop out of that hand piece, and that's no good. So let's put that one on. She's got her little explosive there, which actually makes me want to kind of face her the other way, but that doesn't seem right. Oh my gosh, this stupid thing just fell right out. Toy people, I've said this many times, this peg stuff just doesn't work well. Maybe I'll bring this to Brian Flynn at Joe Fest and be like, hey, can you pop this in here for me? Can you get this to work the way that whoever designed it thought it was supposed to work? Because it doesn't. That is not what I'm going to be saying to Brian Flynn at Joe Fest, because I'm going to be so excited to meet this man, this producer of dream toys, that I'm not going to be negative in any way. So if I manage to get like an interview or something and put it up here, don't come at me with like, I can't believe you didn't ask him why they ruined, you know, whatever your thing is that you're mad at them about. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting an opportunity to talk to somebody who I have a ton of admiration for and then blowing it by being a negative jerk. All right. So maybe that'll just stay in there. And there she is, Wilykit. Overall, very well executed figure. Extremely happy with most of, well, really, this is it. This is the only thing that's like, I don't feel like this quite gets the job done, but also you can just take it off, you know? So there she is. Great. Wilykit should be here sometime in the next couple of weeks, because that's just what happens with Super 7 Wave sometimes. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.